Mike Bohn joined now by Caio Borralho, who returns at UFC 326 against Reinier de Ridder. Caio, how are we doing? We're getting very close now to fight night.
This camp has been amazing, uh, motivated because I'm finally fighting in the big arena right now in Vegas, in the T-Mobile. And I had like 6 fights in Vegas, and all of them was in the Apex. I like Apex and all that, but right now, being the co-main event of this amazing card, Paramount, first card on CBS in history, and motivated, happy, proud of myself, proud of the team, and ready to rock and roll, bro.
Yeah, and you guys are getting some good shine here. It was the co-main event, then it wasn't, and then now it is again. But
Yeah,
this feels like where this fight belongs on this card.
yeah, I think so too. I think it's a great fight. Two middleweight contenders coming out from a lot of wins and then suddenly one loss. So I think it's a great position for us to showcase our skills and do a great show for the fans.
Yeah, it's such a great time for the middleweight division. Obviously, a lot of spotlight and conversation about it. I guess I'll ask you, what did you think of Sean Strickland's win on Saturday against Anthony Hernandez?
Yeah, I kind of predicted the way it was. I told all the people that join my YouTube channel, I do a prediction there for to stake, and I do a prediction based on the stake odds and all that. And I said to everyone, like, I think it is a sham fight because I think the style doesn't match at all. And because Fluffy needs a guy that throws a lot of power. So these guys get tired. He doesn't get tired, and then he goes up. I don't think this happens when you fight Strickland. Strickland likes to touch you with a lot of jabs, doesn't commit that much to the punches, and then he doesn't gas out. And one very important point is that he has a great takedown defense, great wrestling. He just don't use that, but he has a great grappling, great wrestling, great takedown defense. And I think in the middle of the fight, Fluffy was kind of lost a little bit, and then he needed to go forward a little bit harder, and then Sean caught him with the knee. So the fight went the way that I predicted. I didn't believe that Sean could like really TKO Fluffy, but I already imagined that he would win this fight. So yeah, props to Sean.
Yeah, what do you see happening now? I mean, I think a lot of people thought when you fought Nasruddin Imavov, like this is a title eliminator. Winner of this is getting the shot. But like, as far as I know, Nasruddin hasn't signed a contract for Khamzat or anything, and now Sean and Khamzat are going back and forth. Like, which way do you think this is going to go as far as who gets
I,
the first shot at Khamzat?
if you say about who deserves more, I would say Imavov is the one that deserves more. And I actually think the UFC already offered this. I don't know. I really don't know. And I just saw him doing some interviews that he spoke with his mother, and his mother said like, brothers don't need to fight. It's not a good fight. So I don't think he's gonna fight Hamza. I think he and Hamza had good conversations, and Hamza said, no, maybe I do just one more and gonna go up, and then you can come or anything like that. We see that Hamza wants to fight with Jerry Prochaska, so he already wants to come up. And then we saw Dana saying that he needs to defend his title one time. So I think right now the way is opening for Strickland, because there is Strickland and Brenda Allen. And Brenda Allen already lost to Strickland. So maybe it makes sense that Strickland go in front of the line. And with all this back and forth with Hamza, I think is the best one to do.
Do you think he has a better chance of beating Khamzat than Imavov does?
Yeah, I think so. I think Imavov is better striker, I could say, faster and all that. I felt that. I already fought with one of them and trained with one of them with the other. Different styles, but I think that Imavov would wouldn't like do so good with Hamza wrestling. As the way that I think Strickland could go. I don't know if Strickland could really like wrestle with Hamza, but I think he could defend a little bit more and make Hamza a little bit more tired and all that. But we all know that Hamza wrestling is like another level. So I think your question was if I think he would do better than Imavov. I think so.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I want to see Khamzat stay in this division and fight all you guys because these are a lot of interesting matchups, and it's interesting, right? Like Hernandez had the 8 fight streak, never got his title shot. You had 7 in a row, didn't get your shot. RDR had I think 5 in a row. So like it's
Yeah.
all these guys who have been on the streaks that we thought were going to fight for the belt haven't quite got there. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy how this division are, it's so competitive. I think it's one of the most competitive divisions in the UFC. You know, as you said, we have a guy coming up from 8 fight win streak. He don't go for the belt. There's other one with 7 win streak, don't go for the belt, or another one with 5. So I think it's all all competitive situation, competitive division. Sean Strickland just lost to Dricos in the last like 3 or 4 years, and he already beat Imavov, number 1 contender. He already beat Brandon Allen, number 4 contender. So it's crazy how this division is right now, but I'm excited. I think I'm part of the one of the most stackers divisions in the UFC history. So I'm happy with that, because my level is just gonna go up and up because I know I need to work harder and harder.
Yeah, I just hope the belt is defended frequently, right? Because like if Marab was the champion of this division, you guys would have all got your shot probably already. But Khamzat, doesn't seem to be the most active. Is that kind of tough when you kind of look up at the top and you don't know when the champion is going to be defending or how often?
Yeah, kind of, but I'm not surprised. Like we all see how often Hamza fight, you know, and I'm not surprised that as a champion, he will like change all of that and fight 3 times a year. No, this wouldn't happen. I already knew that this could happen. I think this is not good for the division, but you know, I don't know. The UFC pushed him so hard to go for the belt. He went from 170 to 185, beat one guy, and then went for the belt. So I don't know. I think the UFC should have predicted that.
Yeah, no, you're very correct. I mean, and obviously you need to focus on this fight and getting this win and figuring out where that leads you. Like, what are you kind of thinking as far as if you beat Reinier the way that you want to? What does this set you up for the rest of the year?
Yeah. One thing that I said to me is that I never want to be 13 months without fighting anymore. This is something that I keep repeating to myself. I already told the UFC that this really messing me up, like mentally, physically, spiritually, in all the ways. It was like a long layoff, and I was healthy on my prime, wanting to fight, and they just couldn't get a fight for me. And then I just got a fight in the enemy's territory 13 months after my last fight, doing 2 weight cuts in three weeks. So it was a crazy situation. And I don't want to pass this anymore. Never in my life. I prefer to retire to pass this situation. You know what I mean? So I promised to myself that I want to fight twice into like August, September. So maybe I fight on March and then get a great knockout. That this put me back to the title conversation. I'm not saying like straight for the title. It depends how the stars gonna line in the division. But I think a great win, like I'm intending to do, with a good knockout, and I'm back on title conversation. Maybe do one more until like August, September maximum, and then after that, wait for my shot.
Yeah, that's a very interesting like narrative going into this fight, right? Like you feel maybe the too much time off hurt you in your last performance, and Rainier is talking about being too active probably hurt
Yeah,
him in his last performance. So like,
yeah.
what are you expecting out of him in this version where he's taken a little time off here? Seemed like he's changed some things and recovered. Like, do you feel like that wasn't his best self last time against Brendan Allen?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm expecting the best Reinier de Ridder that the world ever saw, because like he took the time off that he needed to. But besides that, he's coming to prove something to the world and to him, that he's not a quitter. And he has a lot. This kind of things has a lot of power inside. So I think he will come very good to this fight, very well prepared, and to be honest, that's what I need. That's what I want to beat the best guys in their best versions. So I think it's gonna be a great fight. I think he's gonna come in the best shape of his life, the best Reinier de Ridder that people ever saw, and this will make my win even bigger and better.
For sure. And last thing, I mean, obviously, the year for the fighting nerd shaping up well. We saw John Silva get his big victory. You have a fight coming up, but there's a lot of rumors right now, Caio. I'm sure you've seen online that Carlos Prates could be fighting Conor McGregor. There's
Bro,
a lot of talk. Are you hearing? Is there any truth, any traction to this? Do you guys feel like this is something that could happen?
bro, to be honest with you, I don't have a clue about any of this. I promise you. I just saw today the poster, and then I commented like, "What?" I sent right away message to Carlos. He didn't respond me yet, but I said like, "What the fuck? Wait, are you fucking fighting McGregor, brother?" Bro, if this is true and you didn't tell me, I'm gonna fucking kill you. That's what I told him. So I'm in the same spot as you guys. I hope with the bottom of my heart this fight is true and they can fight, because it's gonna be a freaking good fight, brother. It's gonna be so good. So I'm waiting on that. Let's see.
Yeah, and like let's pretend in the imaginary world it is happening. Like, what would be the funnest part of that for you? Would it be like seeing them fight? Would it be Carlos and Conor at these press conferences and like their difference in
Everything, bro.
personalities? Like, what
Yeah,
would be
I
most
think
exciting about
everything.
this?
I think everything. I'm willing to see Carlos doing a video and taking the proper 12 and drinking and said, this is not good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm willing to have this kind of promotions to the fight. I think it's too big guys to the fans. I don't think it's a good fight for McGregor, because both southpaws, Carlos were gonna kick him a lot in the calf, and is bigger, knockout power, and I don't think it's a good fight for McGregor. Even like I'm a big fan of him, a big fan of Conor and all that he did in the sport, and but I'm Carlos all day, and I'm excited to see everything about it: the fight, the promotion, the press conference, and the party after. So it's gonna be great.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, credit to Conor if that is the fight they offer and he takes it. I mean, that's a real
Yeah,
welterweight. I mean, this isn't Donald Cerrone, adding 15 pounds and fighting at 170. This is very legit. So
yeah,
would give him major
exactly.
props if he takes this.
Exactly. I'll be very surprised if he takes this fight. I saw him tweeting and showing the top 10 division from the 170, right? And he said something about, so I'm getting one of these guys with no name and this, like, bro, if he gets this fight with Carlos, I think he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy.
Yeah, for sure. And, no, Carlos isn't a no name, but clearly the UFC supports him a lot. They were trying to get him into a fight with like Shavkat last year and stuff. So they like giving him opportunities. So we'll see what happens if that
Yeah.
works out. But yeah, what a year this could be for the fighting nerds. And a few months ago everyone was shitting on you guys, right? And goes to show you can't live too much in the moment.
Yeah, exactly. This is part of the sport. Sometimes you're in the highest place, and sometimes you're in the lowest place. It's so competitive. The sport is developing a lot, but right now is the fighting nerds comeback season, brother. And no one is gonna be on our way. No one, nothing. It's comeback season, and we're coming.
For sure. Thank you so much, Kyle. I appreciate the time. I'll
Thank you,
see you
bro.
out there next week in Las Vegas and we'll chat more.
Perfect, brother. Thank you. See you soon.